What's cracking, mi gente? This your boy D once again, ready to come by to show some love and a little bit of knowledge. Today, I got another banger for you. Unfortunately, I can't not get in front of the camera just yet. I'm redecorating my little studio. I'm adding a couple of things there, and I'm taking away a couple things because I'm be adding a couple more machinery to the business. Hopefully, take off a little better, the DTF, the printer, and all that stuff. So I'm adding a couple monitors. We're gonna do a little bit, a little bit invested here and there. Plus, I'm planning on moving, so I'm trying to get rid of a couple things before I get to the new place and take advantage of the space that I have. So with that being said, I got another banger for you guys. I know they're banging like the other ones that I'll be dropping the jewels. This one also had to do with a few known carnales, with a few known pilis. And you guys might say, why all of a sudden you're giving out more stories about the carnales or whatnot? So for now, I'm going to be dropping bangers weekly. My goal is to drop 3 to 4 videos a week in this page and to drop at least 3 to 4 videos, or if not more, an other page. The reason why is because I have something in mind that I want to get, and I wanted to see if I can accomplish it with the meanwhile that I have the time right now that I'm not working, because more than likely I'll start a job soon, and I don't know how much time I'm going to have in my hands to be doing this video for you guys. So today I'm going to be dropping bangers after bangers after bangers, and I got a good source that can comment on the facts, can confirm some of the facts, and tell me if I'm lying or not. So I got 2 good sources that I came across. I won't mention names, but they're good sources. So with that being said, man, let's get into it. Today, we're going to be talking about the carnales Hector Ayala and Ronnie Ayala, plus a few other members on regards to Freddy Montoya, Fast Fred, and why he fall off grace with the Mexican Mafia. Also, as well, we're going to be talking about I'm going to be doing like a cliffhanger, a continuation to go on Little One. I'm going to be speaking about Little One, also Fox, and a few other carnales that were out there at that time, the little clica. Okay? With that being said, I hope you guys like it. I hope you guys share it, and I hope you guys give it a thumbs up or a thumbs down. And if you haven't subscribed to the channel. Let's get it on. We're growing little by little when we get into what we need to get, man. So let's get it. So, like I said before, I was working for Freddy while I was in prison. Now, like I said, my experience with him was different. Now, other people's experience that I've been talking about had me kind of shocked. And I would say, why? Because they don't refer to him as the carnal. I thought I knew. There was a lot of things that he was doing that got him put on the shelf. And I think he knew what he was doing, and he knew that the entourage was going to get affected, the people that were working for him. But he didn't take us into consideration, or at least that's what I'm gathering, the facts that I gathered. I mean, I knew that they don't give a shit about you guys once you make money and everything. They don't care. But I would thought for the way he would treat a lot of the homeboys that he was different than all the carnales. Well, I gotta come to find out it wasn't like that. So the issue with him, first of all, was he was running around here with Perico for Norwalk. And as you guys know, Perico for Norwalk was already deemed. They already had investigation on it. So they reached out to Freddy and told him, hey, cut ties with Perico, stop fucking with him. The dude some disregard for right now. Well, he did not like being told what to do. And he was making money. Then once Fox came into the picture, started making more of the money with the Caballeros Templarios, he figured he could do whatever he wants. A lot of carnalas get arrogant. And that's sometimes the downfall of them, right? So once they told him to keep on back and start fucking with Perico, he disregarded their authority. He disregarded that message and kept doing what he was doing. Next thing you know, he makes Little One. That was another check that they put on his little jacket when they told him They sent palabra from the Bay, and they told him, hey, the dude's not a carnal. We're not acknowledging him as a carnal. I don't give a fuck if you made him or not. He's not a carnal. You are in hot water regardless of anything. You shouldn't be making people just because you feel like you want to get that power. Now, when OG Ruben came about, Ruben told Freddy when he went up to meet him with Eddie Boy from Veni, Barrio Nueva Estrada, that he told him basically, hey, check it out. The carnales are not happy. They want you to stop fucking with Perico. And they're saying they're not acknowledging Little One. He's not a carnal. You don't have no right whatsoever to make it, brother. You were already in hot water. Well, he also kind of disregarded. But here goes what the camel broke the straw that broke the camel's back. When all this was going on, he got in contact with Fox, and Fox was doing all the moves. So Fox needed persons to go to Mexico and do the transactions they needed. So what do? They used the dummy boy, Little One. So they sent Little One over there with Freddy to go and get those established, to get that basically bridge built on behalf of the Carnales to make some feria. While that's going on, they make the money, they make the grocery start making feria. Freddy was keeping money for himself. All the deals and everything he was selling without the Carnales knowing, without the Carnales permission, he was keeping money for himself. So he was only giving the Carnales a certain amount of money to keep him happy in a bay, thinking that he was never going to be found out. But the manipulation comes in a certain way that he figured if everything comes down to I got a full boy, I got somebody that can, the scapegoat, which was Little One, which was how Little One got in trouble in the first place after him not being accepted by the Carnales in the Bay because they deemed him no good. He also was being at fault, was being blamed for the money Freddy took. So one of the encounters, and here is how Freddy had fall out of grace, even before the money stolen start happening, before the Carnal had sent in the word, the Ayala brothers were already mad at him because when he was with them, I believe in San Quentin or somewhere else, he had promised him, he made him so much promises that he was going to probably come out, make money for them, make introductions, do this, do that, collect this. You know how it is. He made so much promises to them that when he came home, he literally forgot about them. He left them to dry. He didn't give a shit. He worried about it himself, and that was all. So Freddy was already in hot water with two power figures within the image. There were no joke, and there were nobody to play with. So now you had the Ayala brothers pushing to get your helmet blown off. Now you're stealing for your own carnales, and you disregard your carnales when they told you to stop messing with this individual because they had suspicions and they kind of knew Perico was a rat. For what I heard was they knew Perico was telling from the beginning, but the reason why they couldn't get him hit that fast was because he knew a lot and they felt like he was going to expose a lot of game, which was true. He took down a lot of carnales with him. But there was also another individual that was under investigation that the carnales already knew, but because of the power he had acquired, and I would touch more in depth on this subject, was Popeyes and his daughter. Usually, you guys know me, I don't like to bring family into the play, but from what I gather, she played a vital part of his demise as well. Plus, his own involvement as well, but I get to it in another point, so stay tuned for that one. So, now that Freddy was in hot water with the Ayala brothers, he came to Fox and to my boo to try to get that alliance built with the Caballeros Templarios within Mexico. So Little One got sent over there with Freddy on behalf of them and Rue to build this alliance, which they did. They were making thousands and thousands of dollars on a weekly basis. I mean, they were moving so much dope and so much shit around. It was just crazy. But little did people know was that Freddy was keeping at least a good 20 to 25% of the money that was supposed to be going to the carnales. A lot of carnales were not getting in touch. Yeah, Fox, my boo, and all the carnales that were in the clique would get in touch. My friend Pomon and all the other ones. but that was still not enough money. So when people start asking questions, how is that we making this much for big deals, and we're not seeing the money for more than $1,000 at a time, more than $100,000, more than 20,000, 20 racks? To them, that was chump change. Which, if you're making the deals that these guys were making, I mean, we're talking about an undenying wealth of dope. Basically, they had a fountain of stuff that they could get from unlimited. They were paying for it, some of it was being consigned, but it's still they were not seeing what the expectation was. Let's say, for example, you're moving 100 pounds, right? And you expect to make a couple 500,000 or a mil, right? And they're only seeing 100,000, not the whole 500,000, not the whole 700,000. They're only seeing 200,000. Now they're questioning where all the money is going to. So, and there was another fact that I needed to get clear up if it was true that the female Fast Freddy was dating before he got married, was she was just with him for the money, and she was manipulative, she was disrespectful, and it finally got to confirm that the female he was dealing with was a disrespectful ass hyena. Used to talk to him any way he wants. He used to talk to him all sideways. Then Freddie would take that once he would have to fight with it and take it out on the homies. Start trying to be rude on the homies, trying to talk to all crazy to the homies, right? Which some of the homies on his entourage didn't like it, so they went to Ruben and were like, hey, check it out, man. This dude is doing a lot of shit that he's not supposed to be doing. What's going on with this dude? So, in the meeting that took place between Roof, Freddie, and Eddie, and a couple other people, I was told that in one of those meetings, when Freddie got off on the tape, Roof told the entourage people that were there, this dude's not a good carnal. This vato's not a good carnal. This dude's a piece of shit. And the carnales were, the homies that were there at that time were like, whoa, what the hell's going on here? He's like, don't trust him. This fool's a snake. This vato's not a good brother. So, coming from the older gentleman and older carnal, the homies took that to the heart. If he starts seeing shit that they were seeing, then that means Freddy time was coming to an end. And eventually it did. The homies that were out there with him finally got a call from the Ayala brothers, for the people inside, saying, Freddy gotta go. Freddy one needs to go. But here goes the difference between that generation and this new generation coming up and these new homies. They know that no matter what, if they were to touch a carnal, that the stuff was not gonna end well. That regardless of anything, them promising to make them a carnal, them saying don't worry about it, you're not gonna get affected. They knew that was gonna come back and hunt them. They knew that if they hit him, their excuse was like, oh, you shouldn't have touched a carnal. We never agreed for you to do that. So they saw that move coming, and they acted like they were gonna do it, but never actually took place. They kept postponing. They came up to the Ruco Ruben, told him, hey, check it out, man. You know the one this fool had, and they were like, nah, don't do it. Don't do it. They have people to get it done out there as well. But those people also played the part that all the homies were playing. The thing is this, it doesn't matter how beautiful they paint you a picture. Best believe if the pilis or the carnales or the rucos or the tios, whatever you want to call them, is asking you to whack one of their brothers, they're not going to let it go. It doesn't matter one promise they make. It doesn't matter if that dude's a rat. It doesn't matter if he's telling. They're not going to let it go. It's just an excuse that they use. They use you to get rid of their problem. And then they whack you. So it makes the homie seem that you should have never touched a carnal no matter what. And it was a rule that was been written for decades and decades. Only a brother can whack a brother. But we have seen it throughout our history played out. We saw it with Stumper from Monrovia and Spider. We saw it with all the homies that hit him. Now look at Cisco. He hit Fly, his mentor. Now he's not on this regard as what other channels made it seem like he was on all of that stuff. I get deep into that because he's from the mess. I know his whole little get down. He is, under investigation, but he's not been put in a hat yet, as what other channels claim to have the information. So now here you have these homies thinking, if we kill him, if we touch him, if we do him in, we're next. So they string it along as much as they could. We're gonna get done. We're gonna there. Freddie also knew that the hit was coming, because between their sources I have and a couple other people that I know, there happened to be a phone call when Freddie was in Las Vegas doing his thing, because he went over there with his girl and started fucking off a lot of money. They needed him back in West Los. So they gave him a call and were like, hey, we need you to meet up. Or I might have got that confused, but I think it was like that, or the other way might have been that they were in Vegas and he was in West Los. But that's now that I remember, it was like that. So he was in Vegas fucking off. They needed him in Los to do a business transaction they needed to take care of. He wouldn't answer his phone, so they start calling him, and no answer, no prevail. So I reached out to Ruben and told him, hey, look, check it out. Your carnal is not answering the phone. We need him to take care of some stuff right here. We need to know what's going on. Rube calls him, and still, finally he picks up the phone. And when they're telling him, we need you to come back over here to Lowe's because we need you to take care of something, his answer to the homie was, I'm not gonna be your meal ticket into the organization. Just like that, he told him, nah, man, I'm good. Okay, I'll get there when I get there because I'm not going to be your meal ticket. He knew that the Ayala brothers had already put a hit out on him, and the other carnals done that as well. So backing up the other carnal, he knew that well enough that he was on borrowed time. So him being the cunning person that he was, he knew that he couldn't get away and not just do it. So what did he do? He played along. He played the same game that everybody does. He knew that he was coming. He knew that he was coming, and he didn't want to get clipped by the homies. He was so-called teaching. So what he did was that he played along. He stood away as much as he could, knowing that he was wasting his money. And here's the funny part. There was a lot of people saying, oh, a little one got busted because of this, that. Little one got busted because he was obsessed with a married woman that he keep chasing around, and she keep playing that fool like a fiddle. And that's why he got busted. He went to look for her and trying to get her straight with a pistol. And that's when they called the cops on him. And next thing you know, he's in jail. He wasn't busted because he was putting in the work. He was doing all that stuff, having people and all the homies that make it seem like he was a John Don Gotti from that mess. Nah. He was pussy whoop of this married woman to the point where he didn't realize it, and to the point where that hyena used to treat him like a straight garbage, talk to him any way she wanted. He would still follow her like a little lost dog all around LA trying to go for it. And when she wouldn't leave her husband, this dumb fat boy went to look for her and got caught up with that pistol. So don't believe everything you hear, because how people are like, oh, he was out here knocking. Yeah, he got a couple homies hers, and the point that he got a couple homies DP, then he did a couple homies dirty because he felt like he had that juice since he was a carnal, and in the streets, that's how he was named him, even though the Pelican man would have recognized him. But he wasn't out here busting the pistol like he said he was. He got busted because he was so pussy whoop, he wouldn't look for that woman, and that's what got him cut up. So don't believe that he was a John Don Gotti from the mess and all this. Don't beat up Corleone. That's bullshit. So back to Freddie. So he knew that he was coming, so he wasn't trying to get caught slipping. But like I said, everything comes to an end. Everything that goes up must come down, especially if you're doing people dirty. And for the way they've been described to me, how he was doing the homies here, at least to me and all the homies, he was treating us right. So I cannot say he wasn't. But here in the streets, I heard he was doing him right. It got to the point where Ruben one time, he was talking shit to one of the homies in the car. OG Ruben had to step up and tell him to shut the fuck up. Literally just like that. From what I gathered was he told that fool, hey, shut the fuck up, man. You talk too fucking much. You always arguing and whining like a little bitch, and you always doing this and that. Shut the fuck up, motherfucker. I'm fucking tired of hearing your fucking mouth run. Some sort of those words. Some of that high caliber That's what the homies heard. So when they saw how Ruben had treated him, now that's when they knew that Freddy was coming to it. And he probably also saw that the OG was losing respect for him. And he had cursed him out in front of the homies, in front of camaradas, when he was well known that brothers' politics and brothers' problems always get discussed within brothers, within the organization, with their own amounts then. Not in public like that, or not in front of camaradas. So that told them that they were losing respect for Freddy. They were losing a lot of the stuff that they wanted Freddy to do, and he could have achieved a lot if not for his greediness to start stealing for money. So when it came down to the investigation and Fox fell down, so Little One gets to county jail. They sent palabra with all the carnales saying Little One is not a brother, step him down from the Lake County jail. Fox took a liking to Little One. That was the reason why he didn't have Little One whack in the county jail. And Little One knew this. Little One knew this. Even when his brother inductee came to life, a lot of the homeboys didn't believe it. Especially me. I was always a critic of him and always will be. Because to me, I felt like he wasn't really interested in the barrio and the homeboys, his well-being. The well-being of the barrio was not his priority. It was his own career, his own fucking bullshit, his own greed, his own money, his own power that he was getting drunk off. Now, Dreamer was a little bit different. And I said, how always I like Dreamer, but he also had some stupidity shit going on around it. Especially when you get that much power, there's always something shit going on. But that was the case with Little One. And that's why I always have been critique about him. I've always been the voice that spoke against him. His tyranny. Because of that, once they made him a carnal in the streets, he's trying to do all that shit. And then all that bullshit, the Psycho for Santa Monica was the one, the carnal that taxed the barrio $100 a week for all the homeboys. That was not Psycho. That was Dreamer's own doing that got greedy. And he felt like he could control the hood, knowing that he didn't have the backing or the respect of the older homeboys, which is something when you deal with an organization that's big as MS, the first thing you need to make sure you solidify is the backing of the older heads, the backing of your older homeboys, the homeboys that paved the way, especially the old school stoners, especially the old clique, your ranflero for your clique. It doesn't matter if you become a carnal or not. Once you take these older homeboys that been in the battles, a bit of war into consideration, and you know that they have pull within the little homies and within the hood and within the cliques, what you need to do is you need to establish a well-off defense amongst those people. Make sure those people are well taken care of. That way, that's the only way you can thrive in a treacherous game like this. And I tell you this because I've seen this done many times when I was part of a Mesa. It was the way we got things done. We always will ask out of respect, out of courtesy to the older homies for advice, to the older. It didn't matter. I was young and I was sitting on the mesa. So every time I needed to make a decision, I needed to make a vote, I would consult. I would bring it up to the homeboys. Of course, you couldn't give them exactly details of the mesa, but you can always ask for advice. And it's not weakness, bro. It's you learning how to treat the game the way it is, because this game's shark see shark, snake bite snake, and it's treacherous shit. So I learned how to magnet around it, work around it by doing what my uncle and my elders had done. Work with the people that they had before them. So that way you knew that you had the love and the backing of the barrio with the older generals. So you have a lot of people here that have entire impairments and countries and world. What do they have in the World Council? Generals. And what do they have him for? Just like the United States, just like any other country, they have war generals, advisors of the of military options. Why? You have these older people that been there in those positions before you took presidency, and they know how to maneuver around these things, and you rely on their advice. You rely on their point of view for you to make your decision, because it's the best way to go with it. Because if you step in a war and you took over for the fallen general before you, they got killed in an ambush, his people allow him to fall into the ambush. So what are you supposed to do? Where is your lieutenants? Where are your sergeant at arms? Where are your strategic moves? Where is the strategic attacks. What is gonna be a cover attack? Is it gonna be an ambush? Is it gonna be retrieving then attack from both sides? You have to have these game plans, and that's why the reason I used to love reading Art of War, Art of Seduction, the 48 Laws of Power, because it teach you how to maneuver around life, not just politics in prison, but also life period. And you get ahead of the game. So back to it, that's at least how would I have done it. But see, little one got to his balls deep into the he felt like he was a senor, he was untouchable, and that got him in the bag. That got him in a hat in trouble. So Freddy seen that coming. So what did he do? He had a scapegoat plan the whole time around. So when they start questioning him to set him down to clip his wings, guess who he blamed? Little one. That was his whole plan all along. Even though the fox backing up Little One and was helping him out, Little One paid the fall for Freddy, because when the money came up missing, that's why Little One got put in disregard in the county. After even they had clipped him anyways, because he didn't have no wings to get clipped on, but that's why he was in disregard, and that's why they wanted him hit in the county from the first place, because of that money. And that was his fault, that money. They questioned him about the money, the moves he did, and the backings and everything, and all the movies he did. But the first thing they wanted to know, and it's all come down to, and we've seen this day in and day out with the Mexican mafia, all come down to is cheddar, cheese, the money, the feria, the bambizo. Why? Because that's all they care about. So Freddy knew his days were counting. The Ayala brothers wanted him there for the promise that he didn't fulfill. Then the Carnales felt like he had done the organization wrong by playing with their money and stealing from them, which is a scene that's no good. And then he refused instructions given to him by the Carnales, by Pelican Bay Short Quarter at that time. So guess what happened? He got put on the hat. His wings get clipped. And within this, aside from all of this, Fox also has something to do with it, and that's one of the reasons he got started following investigation, aside from the many other shit that I will tell you guys about once I tell you guys this is Freddy's story, and then once I get to Fox's story and Little One, you guys will be able to put one and one together. So Fox fell into that thing because he was one of the older carnales amongst that little group with my boo, and that money missing and all the moves they made behind the carnales backs, and the whole territory fighting with my boo and all the stuff when they were in a clica, because that was the little clique: my boo, Freddy, Perico, Rue, and Fox. There was a couple of the carnales within the same thing, but that was the whole get down. That was their little clica that they had that will back each other out. Like I told you before, they're working groups, they're working clica, just like the Ayala brothers will back them up. Guess what? So the San Diego brothers are backing them up as well. Moving from Logan and a couple of international boys, Shelltown, all the carnales there, they're backing them up. And the reason why that war is going on in Centinela right now against San Diego and Los is because they felt that the carnales started an investigation against Ronnie Ayala for the simple fact, and Hector, because they were supposedly in a PCR, which is been proven that the people that were programming in their role, they were in there with child molestation type of shit, and they never got off. And that was one of the things that Samoan Carnal didn't have. That's why he got put in a rag from the beginning. And I think Boxer better made media touch on this. And there was all the Carnales, they deemed them no good. But when the Ayala brothers came out, remember back in the days, the Ayala brothers had everything on lock. I mean, we're talking about they had the whole San Diego on lock, then they were trying to have everything. You will always run across the primo and always be like, oh yeah, I work for the Ayala brothers. They had an entourage that was so powerful. They had built themselves a whole group of army behind it. And what did the commissioner start doing now? They start clipping them here and there. And why Guero Caballo's doing an investigation, Ronnie? Because he want to take that power, because he feels threatened by that power that these two men are holding. But guess what? The same thing that happened to Papa and Fly is going to end up happening to Guero Caballo. And this is a foreseen coming. And mark my works. And I don't wish that on nobody. Knock on wood, like I always say. But Caballo is going to meet the same fault. He's going to fall on the same sword he had given to his brothers. Because he accumulated so much power now, him and the commission, but him specifically. He even targeted some of his own homeboys from 18, some of his own carnales from 18. Puppet, Night Out, and now the fuck boy Coco. And look at it in review, because he was one of the people that Night Out and Puppet backed up. Coco was there, and he backed them up as well. And look how that paid off. So of course he got his little marks here and there, and best believe it, people are taking notes. When the commission get discomposed and they give that much power to that man alone, the next person come up once Caballo fell, mark my words, either gonna be from Florencia or it's gonna be a San Diego boy. But like I said, man, I wanted to stop by and share this guy, even though Freddy did not get killed. They did clip his win. They did put him in disregard. He's just a nobody, and he's in a bad terms to the point where he cannot even come to his hood as a regular homie. Little one, same fallen token. Little one cannot come to the hood and claim I'm just a regular homie because of everything that he put the homies through. A lot of homies still hold that grudge against him. Fox got his wins clipped. Dreamer and that trying to rat. My boo and that getting snatched up with the whole indictment. Wins clipped again. So you guys see how this played out. You guys can get to the picture. Once they use them, the own canales, once they don't have no use for them, they discard them just like another regular soldier. So what do you think they're going to do to these kids now coming up? They can manipulate you, wash your brain, tell you, oh, yeah, carnalito, we love you, homito. Next, you know, the very first fuck up, they're putting 3-on-1s in your weapon and getting me off your yard because they're not doing removals no more. They're doing strictly toe tags, meaning they want you there. If you guys still believe them, this program on the sur drink that they're selling on these carnales, on all this little bullcrap, if you guys still sold on that, think about the people that are there for you before them. That's all I will leave you with. Think about the people that have been there before the homies, before the camarada, before the señoras. Look at who's been there since day one, who had never let you down. Then make your decision based on that. Don't make a decision because people always gonna call you a coward, a punk, a bitch, a dropout, whatever, even if you don't do it. But if you come home and start doing your life thing and you do a couple little videos here and there, even if you do a workout, look what happened to Crow. He went and advocated for himself. He didn't put no more business out there. They didn't even ask him no question. I did my reaction on this. But guess what happened? He got put in investigation. When I did my reaction, I already knew he was under investigation already for another thing that he had done. But guess what? Now he's being put on a shelf. To my knowledge, he's just in a shelf. He's not in a hat. He's not marked down to get hit yet, but he's in the shelf. They stepped him down. They clip his wing, but he's not being marked yet. So he's still hoping his head that he can resolve his issues. Just like Tigre from Avenues, just like Playboy from Fincobra, who had the pleasure, because it was never a pleasure, the pleasure to me in Centinela, and I will talk to you guys about that asshole, because he's an asshole, and go from there. But I want to drop this jewel to you guys today. I hope you guys like it. I hope you guys share it with somebody else, and I hope you guys run the views up. And with that being said, my people, you guys already know, be kind to one another. Tell your loved ones that you love them, because tomorrow is never promised. With that being said, let's get it, mi gente.